What up, fight world? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. You know, AB, almond butter, always bacon, you know. So, I got to talk about Adrien Broner versus Allakhverdiev. And I'm going to give you guys the good and the bad and the ugly. Now, actually, surprisingly, there wasn't much bad. I'm not going to really bash Broner in this particular video, and I'm going to explain why. So, the good, what I did like about Adrien Broner, from the opening bell, he looked pretty focused. He looked like he knew he had a mission. He knew another loss would be terrible in this short of a span of time. And I seen the look in his eyes when he came out. He looked like he was all business. And it wasn't until round maybe 8 or 9 when he had the fight firmly under control where he started to joke around and clown around a little bit more. Which, that is probably the bad and the ugly. Like, do you have to do that? Like, in round 8 or 9, he was like, hey, Paulie, like in the middle of the fight. Hey, Paulie, like talking to Paulie Malignaggi. And then after the round ended, he went over and said, hey, Paulie, you know I'm in shape, AB. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. I'm not stressing it. It is what it is. But I like how he at least did that after, like, when he was clearly dictating the pace of the fight, which is different. I've seen him in fights with Porter where he was losing every single round and he wasn't in control, joking around and like, Porter was behind him and he hit behind his like weird like Tekken type punch or some Eddie Gordo or some shit punch behind the head, and then Maidana had knocked him down and he was dry humping Maidana, shit like that. That you don't have to do that. There's no reason you should even be doing that when you're losing. You know what I'm saying? So at least he waited until he was winning. Now about the actual fight, I liked it. He looked focused, man. And me, I give it to you guys real straight up and down, up the middle. You know what I'm saying? I've been critical of Broner for the things that I don't agree with, like when he said he's going to slap Michael Jackson and Tupac, who happen to be my favorite artists of all time. He said he's going to slap him in heaven, just tasteless things, and I just beat the fuck out of a Mexican and just stupid stuff like that. I've given him credit where I thought credit was due, and this is another one of those times where I'm giving him credit because I like what I've seen from him. And if you're comparing it to his last fight at the catchweight with Sean Porter in June, this was night and day. Now, obviously, the level of opposition, I'm not comparing Allakhverdiev to Sean Porter. However, I know boxing. Some people don't know boxing. That being said, the reason I'm saying that is because they're going to try to chump Allakhverdiev like he was just a complete bum because their limited knowledge has never heard of him. Allakhverdiev, like I told you from the jump, go listen to when the fight was first announced and I made the video. He's solid. Am I saying he's Mike Tyson and all this and Tommy Hearns? No, but he's solid. And you can look at his fight with Jesse Vargas, a fight that I thought he was winning, and I thought he won the fight and got robbed on the scorecards. And that's proof. Jesse Vargas is a guy who just fought Timothy Bradley, you know what I'm saying? And beat Antonio DeMarco just like Broner. So that being said, Jesse Vargas, even if you gave him the fight, he was in a competitive fight with Allakhverdiev, and in my opinion, Allakhverdiev beat him, and a lot of people also share that notion. So you look at the Broner fight, this was pretty one-sided. I think the best round for Allakhverdiev was probably round 9, and even in that round, Broner was, it looked like just, you know what I mean, resting up or something. And in that round, he released probably one of the nastiest punches in this fight where Allakhverdiev kind of had him trapped on the ropes, and he had this sneaky ass uppercut that jacked the jaw of Allakhverdiev. And that's a fight, if I give it to him, he's tough. Allakhverdiev seems pretty tough and has heart, because that seems like a punch that would have at least staggered someone back, knocked them down, or knocked them out, because it was well timed. And I know he didn't see that coming because it came from underneath his chin, his fucking jaw. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, all in all, I like what Broner did. And you look at the level of opposition, again, some people are going to hate and say, oh, he didn't deserve a title shot. Fuck that. He was in this situation. I'm not Al Heyman. I can't change the fact that he was in a title shot position. It is what it is. I'm just basing off his performance. And he looked solid. I thought Broner looked way better than he did with Sean Porter. He didn't clinch as much. He seemed like he had a game plan. Now he has to just keep doing it. Just, you know what I mean, keep doing it. You did it against a tough, solid guy. Now keep stepping up in competition and building your confidence and keep doing it. I'm not saying he beats everybody, but I like what he did. Just to give you guys some examples of what I like from Broner. that he hasn't showed in a lot. He just seemed like kind of vintage Broner. Broner at the 130, 135. He threw more combinations, which is what I like, because for whatever reason, you watch fights with Maidana, fights with Paulie Malignaggi and Broner, and he was very economical, and he was like trying to pot shot too much. But I seen him let his hands go a lot more early, especially, and that's the key. You watch the fight with Carlos Molina and Broner. He let his hands go in spots, but it was like mid to late. You know what I mean? He had let his hands go a bit more early. The other thing I like is he had a real prominent jab in this. It was like a right hand / jab, and it was a snappy punch, and he was gaining respect with that particular punch. And in vintage Broner fashion, he went to the body. I told people this on my Instagram not too long ago. Broner has a wicked body attack. Like when he was fighting, around the times he was fighting the Jason Litzows and stuff like that. He has a nasty body attack, and he went back to that. And I think Allakhverdiev is very tough, so it's going to be hard to knock him out unless you have a crazy amount of power through a headshot. But I think when he was getting hurt the most was when maybe he got hit in the head after a vicious body attack. I think the body attack was fucking up Allakhverdiev. And Broner was able to get the stoppage in the 12th round. The 11th round was pretty punishing, and then they warned him. They warned the corner. And the other thing that I like is Broner was up against a very good corner in John David Jackson, who was working with Allakhverdiev. So again, before people try to chump Allakhverdiev and make him look like the scrub of all scrubs, look at, you know what I'm saying, look at the stats and the facts. He had Sergey Kovalev's trainer like giving him instruction in training camp and stuff for him. So all in all, I like what I seen from Broner. Like I said, I'm not saying he can beat Terrence Crawford, Victor Postal. Those are the top two people in the division, but it looks like he can at least make any fight competitive. And it's frustrating to see that, like, it's like Broner's almost bipolar. Like what I seen from him today reminded me of what I liked about him at 135, 130s. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, why didn't I see this consistently when you're fighting Sean Porter's, Maidana's, Paulie Malignaggi? So maybe he's really wrapped around that party life and living the rapper life and not focused, because if he's going to be focused like this, then I think he can make at least other fights at 140 competitive. So, I mean, that's all I like to see from him. Progress. Like some of you guys hate and pick fighters that you love and hate and stuff like that. I don't want to see these guys fail. You know what I mean? These people, they're doing it for their families. They're doing it for themselves, their name and pride and stuff. I'm not out here to see people fail. So I'm not saying I'll never talk bad about Broner or make a video where I speak my mind and say negative things about him, because that's just who I am. I call it how I see it. You know what I'm saying? So if he starts doing clown shit again, then I'm going to get on here and make videos about that. But from this particular fight, this was a step in the right direction. He's a champion now. Hopefully the gave him some confidence. But he looked good. He looked sharp in there. Like the speed looked better too. Like ever since he moved out of 35, I think he lost power and speed or whatever. Some of those things weren't apparent, but he looked good. His countering, his defense looked tighter. He looked a lot more slippery. Again, now he's going to just have to keep doing it against the pressure style that is giving him problems. Like a fight I would love to see next, Omar Figueroa, because that's a pressure style, a guy with like long arms, a guy who's busy, and he has some power, he has some pop, and he's at 140 now, if I'm not mistaken. So I would love to see something like that for a title defense for Broner, Omar Figueroa versus Adrien Broner, and that will show me a little bit more, you know what I'm saying, with that style, and to see where Broner's head's really at, because Allakhverdiev just didn't have no answer to the problem. Let me know what you guys thought of the fight. Make sure you like my video as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video, it's Ego signing off.